Hello. This one is going to cover the defaults. This is quite an important one. I'm kind of looking forward to refreshing myself on this. I have a couple of small notes. I don't really lay it out. These are notes for me, myself, for when I go back in here. So we're going to go back into the management tools. We already have our own profile set up. So I have my own profile set up here. So you got a lot of stuff in here. It's it's going to be impossible to remember everything. So some of them I don't understand what they are. To be honest with you, a lot of them I'm looking at them for the second time, but it looks like I'm looking at them for the first time. So there's all stuff with mapping and all these other things. So uh, there's some stuff you want to change. Like if you go here, you can see the angle. It's treated through 15-degree angle and tolerance for compass and concrete. You can go down here to general. There's a lot of stuff in the general tab. So you can see colors for marked objects, red. So really you need to read through them all. But I'm going to go through some of the important ones that I think. Now also I read through a document a couple of years ago and it was by David Naylor and I got some of these tips through that. So I don't know if that document's available. But I took notes at the time I read it, so this is my notes. So basically, if we go to the filter down here, there's some stuff we want to change, and this will just give you an idea how to use it. So if we type in for our level symbols, so our level symbol, and then we want to go to presentation, I guess. So the representation type, we want to trim the zeros, so we want to go actually to labeling. Yeah, so see here, level symbol trim zeros. So we want this to be unchecked as I have it now, because if you check this, your level symbol is not going to show up the 0 inches, which doesn't look right. So if we see here to set the format for the detail level symbol units on metric drawings, we don't care about that. I don't care about that, I should say. For the imperial drawings, we have it set like this, so that's good. So the level symbol is set first. The next one we want to do is the text size for the level symbols. So it's not there. Is it in the dimensioning? So if we can't find, let's just type in level symbols. So type in your level symbols. And we come in here, labeling. And you can see here the arrow size is 1/8 for the level symbols. So that is proper. Now I've changed this on my other one. That's why it's come in correct. Originally this will come in as 1/16, and here's your trim zeros is also here. So inside your drawing labeling. So some things make notes of how to find them again. So that's the text size. Now if we want to do the prefix, so let's do the level symbol prefix. And not there, general, not there, drawing presentation, there, layer assignment. Level symbol, let's see, prefix. So the level symbol prefix is just a dash. So that's okay, but I mean, do we not want to have it as something a little better than that? So what we'll do is we'll put in elevation and then a dash. Okay, so we've changed that, so now it'll come in with an elevation in front of it. So we want to do the same thing then for the level dimension prefix. So let's save that. So let's go level. So you get the idea. There's just a couple of things like this. Level dimension. And this is already changed to EL. Now, this actually looks like an EI. So if we change this to an L, that's probably better, right? So if you hover over it, text displayed in front of the elevation dimension. So that's good. And then the other one, when you hover over these, it's going to show you. So if I clear this filter, and if we just go to any of these, drawing general, there's another one in here. I'll just do it now while we're here. So allow duplicate workshop drawings. If you click that, it will now create more single part drawings for the same beam or assemblies. So you don't want that ticked unless you're tricking around checking stuff. Automatically check status of the main part. Yeah. So down here we want to have behavior for main part beams on shop drawings. I have create only main part detail. Now I want that to be create only single part detail, and I want the same for this. Standalone parts on shop drawings, I want them to be main parts. Now I might change them to single parts. So basically what this is saying is if I only have one beam and there's nothing attached to it, do I want it to be treated as a single part or a main part? I want it to be treated as a main part the way I number it because it'll have the same number as the main part. And then when the guy gets the material list, it's going to be on it properly. For me, that's the way we like to do it. So you might want to have this different. It's up to you. So you have all these other things down here. Default view request for callouts, advanced and user. So all these you can change along the way if you want. So other than that, there's a couple of other things I want to do that are important. The default diameter for standard holes. So if I come down here and default, sorry, if I could spell would help. So the default diameter for standard holes is 13/16, right? Now, we don't want to do that because the problem being we want to label all the holes really, right? So, and if we really want to change this to 1/16 because Advanced Steel doesn't recognize 1/16. So in turn, Advanced Steel will then label every hole. So it's safer for us to have every hole labeled. Now, the standard holes is fine. That means it will not label the 13/16 holes if you set it that way. But why not label them all, right? It's just safer to label them all. So that's a good setting to have. There's another similar one for weld size. So we go to weld size, and if we go to, so the weld size here is a 1/4 inch, and this is kind of the same idea. So we want to also change this to 1/16 because now it'll show up all the welds. It'll show up all the welds that are not 1/16. So it'll show up every weld because it's not going to recognize this. So it kind of forces the system to label all the welds. And then also 1/16 ones will not be labeled. So if you want to put some welds from beams to clips that you don't want to show up on the drawings, this will be a good one because it won't show up on the drawings. So that's another good one. Let me think of what else. There's one with zeros for the bill of materials. So let's do zeros for the bill of materials. Suppress the last zero used for on the BOM. So I want this to be unchecked, which it is already, because I want the zeros in there. So as you can see, it shows you what's going to happen there between the two. All right. So we'll do another 0 1 would be on the labels. Level symbol trim 0. That's okay. So there's hide, let's put in 0 here, sorry, sometimes it's the slightest little thing. Let me see, here it is, hide 0 sign for feet, and we want this to be unchecked. And then the hide 0 sign for inches, you want that to be unchecked. So also the scale comes in a little bit small, so what I'm going to do is I'm also going to change the scale on this. Now you could be all day going through all these. There's a lot of stuff you can change around. Actually, it's the fraction height that I want to change. So the fraction height is set diagonal line centered 0.75. This should be set to 0.5, so I'm trying to find it. Fraction. No, there's somewhere where the fraction setting is. Scale for fraction height. Yeah, this is the one here. It's set to 0.6, which is too small probably, so you can change it to 0.7 or 0.75, something like that. That's the one there. And then the development view is an important one. So I guess development, I think it's view radius. No, that's not it. View radius. Let's try radius. So it's going to be the dimension, and it should be development view radius. There it is. So you want to set this to the inner dimension. Most bends are bent from the inner dimension, so the inner dimension makes sense unless you have to change this. That's the general consensus with that. It's not just my opinion. So also you can do the revision index, can be set to not available. So revision index. So revision index is usually set to 0, which I'm actually fine with, but some people like to change that to NA for not available. But 0 works fine here, that's what everyone uses. So you can change that if you want, but and then we can do the revision index. So do you want to show the revision index when you make revisions like that? Yes, you do. So we want to have this checked. So that's an important one, I would say. So check that one, that's pretty important. Another important one, which I have forgotten about, and I'm glad I actually have it on my notes here, is this one, which is the lot phase. So if I go to numbering, it says, so used for numbering, lot phase used for main part numbering, beam lot phase used for numbering, plate lot phase used for numbering. Main part, beams, plates. Yeah, so I want to check all these on. So I want this to use the lot phase for each of these. For it to be used for numbering, so the box will automatically be checked. So that's an important one for me. And I think that's about it. We won't get into too much more than that. I will do the object property editor is a good one next. I hope these videos are useful. If not, tell me they're not useful. Also, all right, please give me a like at least so I know what's going on. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye.